Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about the AFC North champions, the Cincinnati Bengals. This is the first time in franchise history they have been the champs back-to-back seasons. And Baltimore comes to Cincinnati for the first round of the playoffs, so things are getting interesting here. Cincinnati, the last time they have lost a football game was quite some time ago. It was all the way back on Halloween Day in Cleveland. That loss got them to 4-4, and then they rattled off 8 straight wins. Now, I know Bengals fans, or a lot of fans, are not necessarily pleased with the way, it's kind of set up for Cincinnati as far as if they were to make it into the conference championship. I understand it, but just kind of in life, sometimes you're going to get gypped, and that's just the way cookie crumbles. Today, personally, I was more focused on simply being healthy. There were so many times, Baltimore was playing a pretty chippy game. Obviously, Cincinnati's the kings of the North. I mean, that's just the way statistically it is right now. They've back-to-back seasons as we started the video off. So, there were several times Baltimore today, it was, kind of like that Roquan Smith hit, like hitting Jamar Chase. The announcers didn't really say anything. They kind of batted their eye at it, but I'm sitting there thinking, that was definitely intentional. You had Joe Burrow on his fumble late in the first half get his head or neck, his head pretty much turned 180 degrees, and I mean that's very clearly a penalty, but there were just a lot of times, and we saw Alex Kappa unfortunately go down with an ankle injury. Thankfully he mouthed the words "I'm fine." You saw T. Higgins go down for a little bit. You saw Tyler Boyd go down for a little bit. That's just to mention a few. So welcome back. Today we're talking Bengals. It's been a while since our last Bengals video, so be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button. 12-4. It's a very successful season. I mean, they were 2-3. The last time they played Baltimore, that loss all the way back on 10-9, all the way back in October in Baltimore. And I know the Ravens were playing with third stringer today, but it's neither here nor there. I just, like I said, I simply don't care about the way the game went. We will talk about it, though. We will definitely talk about it. I was more focused on individual performances, and that the defense really impressed me, but I really just wanted them to stay healthy. If we go all the way back to that loss at 2-3, I mean, Cincinnati has had one crazy turnaround of a season. It just really has been so impressive. Joe Burrow leading the way on the season. He throws for almost 4,500 total yards. Completion percentage over 68%. 35 passing touchdowns, just 12 interceptions. He had a rating of 100.8. Joe Burrow leading the way. Joe Mixon, I know ever since he got back from that injury, he played Cleveland in the comeback game, and he had a great game on the ground. That really was just one of the only things I wasn't necessarily pleased with today with Cincinnati was their rush attack, which a couple of weeks ago against New England, it was getting back on track. It's crazy because I know statistically they only rushed 95.5 yards per game. That's bottom 4 in the National Football League. So I know, statistically that's a huge issue, but when I watch the Bengals, I'm not concerned with their rush attack. I know losing Lyle Collins is huge. Hopefully Alex Kappa comes back, but when you have an offense and Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins, and when your running back is Joe Mixon, who not only can run the ball, but he also had a career high in reception yards on the season, I'm just not worried about running. It was something to note, though, today. At the same time, though, 1 week from now, the Bengals are going to be playing the Ravens again, so you don't really want to give up everything you have. You want to keep a lot of stuff in your back pocket there. Joe Burrow today, 25-42, 215 yards and a touchdown. Now, he said the same thing, which I think most of us were thinking today. He wasn't expecting the Bills to lose. So, mathematically, especially once Kansas City got that win last night, Cincinnati could not get up to number 1. But I never at any point really was thinking Buffalo was going to lose that game today, especially after what happened. I think prayers up still for Damar Hamlin, but I think it really, that game, I know I didn't technically do a recap for that video, or recap video for the game. Cincinnati they're just so respectful. It's such a respectful franchise. All their teams, all their players, all their coaches, everybody on the team has been nothing but respectful, and it just is really cool to see. Especially because Buffalo that's a rival right there. It's another top dog in the AFC. So the way things are going to shake up is We'll talk about playoffs once they come here, but as a fan, you can kind of sit here and speculate because you don't actually have to play on the field, so it's not like bad juju or anything like that. But it is going to be interesting seeing Baltimore and Cincinnati match up for 3 straight games, or 3 times in the season. Now, defensively, and once again, I understand Baltimore, a bunch of their players in general are being rested today. Anthony Brown was starting, but they forced 4 turnovers. And I think just in general, their defense did a great job. Obviously, now you have Sam Hubbard back, but guys like Mike Hilton with that interception to pretty much start off the game. Jesse Bates' interception pretty much start off the game. That are things I love to see. Getting red zone stops, getting to the quarterback, getting sacks on the board. B.J. Hill, Trey Hendrickson, 2 sacks for him today. Cam Taylor-Britt with that beautiful, absolutely beautiful strip late in the game where, once again, Cincinnati, it was a very long second half, especially to me, because I'm thinking, all right, things are getting a little chirpy here. They're getting a little bit dicey. I really just want Cincinnati to run this clock out, finish the football game with no more injuries or no more injury scares. And, technically Baltimore, they only scored 9 points in the second half, but Cincinnati only scored 3. So technically it was like, 2-possession game. Is all right, they could theoretically come back. And it was nice to see Cam Taylor-Britt, the rookie, who's no longer a rookie anymore. The rookie season is over. It was nice to see him get that strip. So defensively, it's just, there's a reason they're ranked 6th in the league, and it's so cool because, like a month ago, 6 weeks ago, they were, 15th in the league in defense, and I just didn't feel like it was indicative of how talented they are and just how many big names and team players they have on that defense. So this is a great way to go into the playoffs. 8 straight football wins is but 4 forced turnovers defensively. Their defense is firing on all cylinders. So I love it. I absolutely love it. You have this as it stands right now. There's still some football to be played, but as it stands right now, Cincinnati at 12-4 heads into the playoffs as the 6th best offense and the 6th best defense, and they're definitely going to have a fighting chance at getting to the Super Bowl, but especially starting off against Baltimore. I don't know too much about what's going on with Lamar. I would imagine he's going to be back still. I've got Cincinnati going pretty deep in these playoffs. In fact, I got them all the way to the Super Bowl. So that's it for me. If you guys enjoy, hit that like button, hit that sub button. But most importantly, guys, I want to read your comments down below. I want to hear the good and the bad, not only from today's game, but just your thoughts in general heading into the playoffs. I know there's going to be some stuff, especially about the right side of that offensive line, maybe even a little bit about that running game, but would love to read it. Love reading your guys' comments as always. So stay tuned for more Bengals content throughout the week and offseason and just in general. So let's try and get this video to 100 likes. That would be awesome. And I'll see you guys later. Peace.